Hello everyone, my name is Jorge, and today I'll be presenting Eric Rohmer's 1969 film, My Night at Mott's. Eric Rohmer was born in 1920 in Nancy, sometimes listed as Toul, Meurthe-et-Moselle Department, Lorraine, France. His given name was Maurice Henry Joseph Scherer, but decided to go by a pseudonym using the names of an actor and director Erich von Stroheim and writer Sax Rohmer. He received an advanced degree in history and taught in a school briefly before starting his writing career in the mid-1940s. My Night at Mott's belongs to the French New Wave period. French New Wave rejects traditional filmmaking techniques and favors exploring new methods of expression. Similar to Italian neorealism, New Wave films were shot on location, used long-standing shots, and stay away from big budget sets and production that was different than the norm for other studios at the time. My Night at Mott's is the third film in the series of Rohmer's 6 Moral Tales. It examines the philosophical and moral conflicts found in human relationships and in life. Rohmer commits to the realism through the film's dialogue and setting, and he is able to bring up issues such as religion, ethics, and love, while at the same time delivering the scenic shots. The film sets itself apart from the style of other New Wave filmmakers like Jean-Luc Godard, because Rohmer's style brings more personal and essay-like characteristics compared to other films from the New Wave. Night at Mott's tells the story of Jean-Louis, a solitary and serious engineer who starts by saying he is convinced he has found his future wife. He encounters Vidal, an old Marxist friend who's now a university lecturer. After attending a concert and mass together, they go for dinner, and Vidal asks Jean-Louis to come with him to visit a woman he's seen. They arrive at an apartment that belongs to Maud, a pediatrician who is recently divorced. The three talk and drink until Maud suggests that falling snow has made the drive to Jean-Louis's mountain village unsafe and he should stay the night. Vidal, who had hoped to stay, ends up leaving. Maud and Jean-Louis discuss religion and their love life. After Maud's advances are not well received by Jean-Louis, she gets over the rejection and invites him to join her later for a walk in the snow with some friends. Just before meeting Maud's friends, Jean-Louis spots a woman he's seen before at church and decides to approach her. Her name is Francois, and she agrees to meet with him sometime in the future. After the walk, Jean-Louis returns where he met Francois and sees her one more time. She's ready to go home in her bicycle, in spite of the snowy conditions. He offers to give her a ride home and goes back with her to her student house, and after tea, they spend the night in separate rooms. The following morning, Jean-Louis's advances are not well received by Francois, but he continues to spend time with her, and they eventually get married, just as he had predicted at the beginning of the movie. 5 years later, Jean-Louis and Francois run into Maud, who is now remarried, but struggling. Afterwards, Jean-Louis confesses to Francois that he came from Maud's bed on the morning he first met her, but gives no specifics about what really happened. Jean-Louis realizes that his wife's lover was Maud's husband from the way the two secretive gazed at each other. As they are now both happy together, they decide not to bring up the subject again. Rohmer explores several themes that at their core are existential struggles experienced by everyone, not just the characters present in the movie. Starting with relationships, My Night at Mott's examines philosophical and moral conflicts. Are things left to fate or probability? Specifically, do people find love and companionship out of chance, or because God crosses two people's paths together? Do we have control over our desires? Are these desires part of human nature, or a rebellion towards religion? Jean-Louis rejects Maud after she kisses him, because he does not want to give in to his desire, only to fail later when he attempts to kiss Francois. Which of Jean-Louis's reactions is justified? Throughout the movie, Jean-Louis expresses how important it is for him that his wife is a Catholic as well, and it is only obvious that he falls for Francois after seeing her in church for the first time. The relationship amongst the main characters draws a few questions and dilemmas. Vidal is interested in Maud, but she doesn't reciprocate his feelings. After meeting Jean-Louis, Maud becomes interested in him, only to find that her feelings are also not reciprocated. Jean-Louis dabbles in getting involved with Maud at first, but decides not to give in, because he must find this woman he's looking for. Being a divorcee, Maud reveals her marriage came to an end after she found out her husband had an affair. He rejected Maud and went on to seek the next best partner, in a way similar to how she rejects Vidal in the hope she can find the best partner for her. This quest doesn't work well for her. Jean-Louis rejects Maud because he also hopes to find the right person for him. A series of questions arises from this interconnected web of personal relationships. Should people be patient and pursue the idea of love and hope they can find the perfect person for them? Or should they take it easier and reliable option of instant happiness? Is it wrong if someone decides to pursue both? Are chemistry and love mutually exclusive, or can one exist without the other? Another underlying topic is morality. Dealing with moral conflicts is not as simple as good or bad. Just like Jean-Louis, everyone has a struggle at some point with important decisions. Any action and its consequence can be justified and be seen on a positive or negative way. Jean-Louis is not morally superior to Maud for rejecting her advances, because he does the same later on as well with Francois, and it would be hypocritical to accept one and condemn the other. Being faithful is also a gray area for some. As a Catholic, Jean-Louis should be completely against affairs, but he does flirt with Maud and kisses her, just after meeting the woman he is sure he will marry eventually. Later, when he discovers that Francois was the woman that got involved with Maud's husband, he has no moral basis to judge her, because he too was involved with someone that wasn't Francois. Throughout the movie, Jean-Louis struggles to remain loyal to his own beliefs and moral code, until he is able to come to terms that his past is behind him, and that he should focus on the present in order to build a better future. The movie ends with Jean-Louis and Francois promising not to bring up the past again, as they take their child by his hands and go for a swim. They both realize there is no point and no happiness in lamenting their previous actions, and that they should instead focus on what's important, continue to build and develop a strong relationship together. The conversations in the movie are often philosophical. Taking a deeper look at Pascal's wager, the question of free choice comes into play. Is the choice to believe optional or predestined? In Pascal Pense's, one has to make a choice in all aspects of life, regardless of morality, religion, and personal beliefs. The choice must be made. Jean-Louis's initial struggle is his avoidance of making choices. He does not want to decide whether he accompanies Vidal to the concert or to Maud's. He does not want to choose whether to sleep with Maud or not. He wants to postpone all these decisions. It is this attitude towards choice that bothers him throughout the film, and it is only towards the end of the film that he chooses to let go of the past and to not subscribe to a black and white moral system which helps him achieve his own peace and happiness. Romer used a more conversationalist style in his movies, and used the camera lens as a medium to portray human emotions. While other filmmakers relied on drama and spectacles to represent the more ordinary life of their characters, Romer accomplished this through minimalism, favoring thought over actions. Romer shot on location with expensive equipment and help of his friends, restricting close-ups and excessive camera movement. He used a small film crews and experienced actors that were put through extensive rehearsals. The actions taking place in the movies draw the viewer in, not the studio sets and fancy edits. The dialogue was sometimes improvised in order to give a better sense of realism, and thus help the viewer empathize and identify with the main characters. Night at Maud's was Romer's first successful film both commercially and critically. It was screened and highly praised at the 1969 Cannes Film Festival, and later won the Prix Max Opus in France. The film was released in the US and praised by critics there as well. James Monaco said, "Here, for the first time, the focus is clearly set on the ethical and existential question of choice. If it isn't clear within Maud who actually is making the wager, and whether or not they win or lose, that only enlarges the idea of le pari, or the bet, into the encompassing metaphor that Romer wants for the entire series." Its art house theater release in the US was so successful that it got a wider release in regular theaters. Romer's style paved the way for out-of-the-ordinary, low-budget, high-quality films. The themes are timeless and thought-provoking. Modern-day filmmakers have been influenced by French New Wave, and this can be seen till this day. Thank you.